Sri Sai Nadaya Namaha. Welcome to Sri Sai Satcharitra in English version. Today we are in 16 and 17 chapters. Quick Brahma Gnan. These two chapters relate the story of a rich gentleman who wanted Brahma Gnan quickly from Sai Baba. The last chapter described how Mr. Cholkar's oath of small offering was completed and accepted. In that story, Sai Baba showed that how would accept with appreciation any small thing offered with love and devotion. But if the same thing was offered with pride and haughtiness, he would reject it. Being himself full of Sai Satchit Anand, he did not care much for mere outward formalities. But if an offering was made in a humble spirit, the same was welcome and he accepted it with pleasure and avidity. In fact, there is no person more generous and benevolent than a Sadguru like Sai Baba. He cannot be compared to the Chintamani Jabal, the Kalpataru. They give us only what we desire, but the Sadguru gives us the most precious thing that is inconceivable and inscrutable, the reality. Now let us hear how Sai Baba disposed of a rich man who came to him and implored him to give him Brahma Gnan. There was a rich gentleman who was very prosperous in his life. He had amassed a large quantity of wealth, houses and lands, and had many servants and dependents. When Baba's fame reached his ears, he said to a friend of his that he was not in want of anything, and so he would go to Shirdi and ask Baba to give him Brahma Gnan, which if he got would certainly make him more happy. His friend dissuaded him, saying, "It is not easy to know Brahma, and especially so for an avaricious man like you, who is always engrossed in wealth, wife and children, who will in your quest of Brahma Gnan satisfy you, who does not give even a paisa in charity." Not minding his friend's advice, the fellow engaged a return journey Tonga and came to Shirdi. He went to the masjid, saw Sai Baba, fell at his feet and said, "Baba, hearing that you show Brahma to all who come to you, I too have come here all the way from distant place. I am much fatigued by the journey and I get Brahma Gnan from you. My troubles will be well paid and rewarded." Baba then replied, "Oh my dear, do not be anxious. I shall show you Brahma. Many people come to me and ask for wealth, health, power, honor, position, cure of diseases and other temporal matters. Rare is a person who comes to me and asks for Brahma Gnan. There is no dearth of people asking for worldly things, but people interested in spiritual matters are very rare. I think it's a fortunate and auspicious moment when persons like you come and ask me for Brahma Gnan. So, forthwith I show to you with pleasure Brahma with all its accompaniments and complexities." Saying this, Baba started to show his Brahma. He made him sit there and engaged him in some other talk and thus made him forget his question for the time being. Then he called a boy and told him to go to one Nandu Marwadi and get from him a loan of 5 rupees. The boy left and returned immediately, saying that Nandu was absent and his house was locked. Then Baba asked him to go to Bala Grocer and get from him the said loan. This time also the boy was unsuccessful. This experiment was repeated again twice or thrice with the same result. Sai Baba was, as we know, the living and moving Brahma incarnate. Then someone may ask, why did he want the paltry sum of 5 rupees and why did he try hard to get it? In reality, he did not want the sum at all. He must have known fully that Nandu and Bala were absent, and he seemed to have adapted this procedure as a test for the seeker of Brahma. That gentleman had a roll or bundle of currency notes in his pocket, and if he was really earnest, he would not have sat quiet and be a mere onlooker when Baba was frantically trying to get a paltry sum of rupees 5. He knew that Baba would come his word and repay the debt, and that the sum wanted was insignificant. Still, he could not make up his mind and advance the sum. Such a man wanted from Baba the greatest thing in the world, the Brahma Gnan. Any other man who really loved Baba would have given to him 5 rupees at once, instead of being a mere onlooker. It was otherwise with this man. He advanced no money, nor did he sit silent, but began to be impatient. As he was in a haste to return and implored Baba, saying, "Oh Baba, please give me Brahmagnan soon." Baba replied, "Oh my dear friend, did you not understand all the procedure that I went through? Sitting in the place for enabling you to see Brahma? It is in short this, for seeing Brahma one has to give 5 things. That is, one has to surrender 5 things. 5 pranas, 5 senses, mind, intellect and ego. This path of Brahmagnan or self-realization is a hard as treading on the edge of a razor." Sai Baba then gave a rather long discourse on the subject, the purport of which is given below. What are the qualifications of Brahmagyan or self-realization? All the persons do not see or realize the Brahma in their lifetime. Certain qualifications are absolutely necessary. Mumukshu, or intense desire to get free. He who thinks that he is bound and that he should get free from bondage and works earnestly and resolutely to that end and does not care for any other thing is qualified for the spiritual life. Virakti, or a feeling of non-attachment with the things of this world, and the next, unless a man feels disgusted with the things, emoluments and honors which his actions would bring in the world, and the next he has to right to enter into the spiritual realm. Antarmukha, our senses have been created by God with a tendency to move outward, and so man always looks outwards and not inward. He who wants self-realization and immortal life must turn his gaze inwards and look to his inner itself. Catharsis, unless a man has turned away from wickedness and stopped from doing wrong and has entirely composed himself, and unless his mind is at rest, he cannot gain self-realization even by means of knowledge. Right conduct, unless a man leads a life of truth, penance and insight of a life of celibacy, he cannot get God realization. Preferring Shreyas to prayers, there are 2 sorts of things, the good and the pleasant. The former deals with spiritual affairs and the latter with mundane matters. Both these are open to man for acceptance. He has to think and choose one of them. The wise man prefers the good to be the pleasant, but the unwise, though through greed and attachment, chooses the pleasant. Control of the mind and the senses. The body is a chariot and the self is its master. Intellect is a charioteer and the mind is the reins. The senses are the horses and the sense objects are their paths. He who has no understanding, whose mind is unrestrained, has his senses unmanageable. Like the stray horse of a charioteer does not reach his destination, but goes through the round of births and deaths. But he who has understanding and whose mind is restrained has his senses under control, like the good obedient horse restrained. His senses are of a charioteer reaches the destination. That is a state of self-realization whence he is not born again. The man who has understanding has his whence, charioteer, and is able to regain his mind, reaches the end of the journey, which is the supreme abode of the all-pervading Vishnu. Purification of the God, purification of the mind. Unless a man discharges satisfactorily and disinterestedly the duties of his station in life, his mind will not be purified, and unless his mind is purified, he cannot get self-realization. It is only in the purified mind that Vivek crop up and the lead on it to self-realization. Unless egoism is dropped, avarice got rid of, and the mind made desireless, self-realization is not possible. The idea that I am the body is a great delusion, and attachment to the idea is a cause of bondage. Leave off this idea and attachment, therefore, if you want to reach the goal of self-realization. The necessity of a guru. The knowledge of the self is so subtle and mystic that no one can by his own individual effort ever hope to attain it. So, the help of another person, teacher who has himself got self-realization is absolutely necessary. What others cannot give with great effort and pains can be easily gained with the help of such a teacher, for he was walked on the path himself and can easily take the disciple step by step on the ladder of spiritual progress. And lastly, grace of the Lord is a most essential thing. When the Lord is pleased with anybody, he gives him viveka, vairagya, and takes him safe beyond the ocean of mundane existence. The self cannot be gained by the study of Vedas, nor by intellect, nor by learning. He whom the self chooses gains it. To him the self reveals its nature, says the Katha Upanishad. After the dissertation was over, Baba turned to the gentleman and said, "Well, sir, there is in your pocket the Brahma in form of 50 times of 5. Please take that out." The gentleman took out from his pocket the bundle of currency notes and, to his great surprise, found on counting them that there were 25 notes of 10 rupees each. Seeing this omniscience of Baba, he was moved and felt at Baba's feet and craved for his blessings. Then Baba said to him, "Roll up your bundle of Brahma currency notes. Unless you completely get rid of your avarice or greed, you will not get the real Brahma. How can he whose mind is engrossed in wealth, progeny and prosperity expect to know the Brahma without removing his attachment for them? The illusion of attachment or the love for money is a deep eddy of pain full of crocodiles in the form of conceit and jealousy. He who is desireless can alone cross the whirlpool. Greed and Brahma are asunder as poles. They are eternally opposite to each other. Where there is greed, there is no room for thought or meditation of the Brahma. Then how can a greedy man get dispassion and salvation? For a greedy man, there is no peace, neither contentment nor steadiness. If there be even a little trace of greed in mind, all the sadhanas are of no avail. Even the knowledge of a well-read man who is not free from the desire of the fruit or reward of his actions is futile and cannot help him in getting self-realization. The teachings of a guru are of no use to a man who is full of egoism, who always thinks about the senses objects. Purification of mind is absolutely necessary. Without it, all our spiritual endeavors are nothing but useless show and pomp. It is therefore better for one to take only what he can digest and assimilate. My treasury is full and I can give anyone what he wants, but I have to see whether he is qualified to receive my gift. If you listen to me carefully, you will be certainly benefited. While sitting in the masjid, I never speak any untruth. When a guest is invited to a house, all the members of the household and other friends and relations that happen to be present are entertained along with the guest. So all those that were present in the masjid at the time could partake of the spiritual feast that was served by Baba for the rich gentleman. After getting Baba's blessings, one and all, including the gentleman, left the place quite happy and contented. Special characteristics of Baba. There are many saints who, living their houses, stay in forests, caves and hermitages, and also in solitude. In order to get liberation or salvation for themselves, they do not care for other people and are always self-absorbed. Sai Baba was not such a type. He had no home, no wife, no progeny, nor any relations, near or distant. Still he lived in the world. He begged his bread from our 4 or 5 houses, always lived at the foot of the tree, carried on worldly dealings, and taught all the people how to act and behave living in this world. Rare are the sadhus and saints who, after attaining God vision, strive for the welfare of the people. Sai Baba was the foremost of these, and therefore says Hemad Bant, "Blessed is the country, blessed is the family, and blessed are the chaste parents, where the extraordinary, transcendent, precious and pure Jewel, Sai Baba, was born." Woe to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sri Sai Nadaya Namaha. Samartha Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki jai. I thank Sai Ram for giving me, for blessing me to do this Sai Satcharitra. And I thank the devotees who are subscribing me and listening to my videos. I request all my devotees to please share to the near and dear, where they too can have the blessings of Sai Ram. Sri Sai Ram. Om Sri Sai Ram.